Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm doing something a little different and not just talking about the hottest comics releasing this week, March 16th, but I'm going to be telling you all my comic pickups. So these are all the comics I will be picking up this week. Let you know a little bit more about them and what might be my special top pick for the week. So, we're going to dive right into what I pick up for this week, but first, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you're picking up this week. I'm excited to hear what you guys are reading, and I love checking them out as well. So, starting off with Avengers 54. This is written by Jason Aaron and drawn by Juan Figueroa. And to me, Avengers is like a big mashup of characters put into a book. So they really like lately mashing different characters together, and in this one in particular, it looks like Dr. Doom is hunting down all the Deathlocks, and in order to find the last Deathlock is inside the Avengers Celestial Mountain, and we're gonna see a new team of Avengers, and possibly one of them transforming into this new character, Avengers Prime. So, I'm interested to see who this Avengers Prime is going to be, but I'm also getting kind of fatigued over, the mashup of characters. So, I don't know, we're going to have to definitely check that one out. I'm also picking up Basilisk number 8. This is written by Cullen Bunn. It is a Boom title. I've really been enjoying this comic. It deals with siblings that have different senses, so sight, seeing, hear, things like that. And this one in particular is really going to dive into Vanessa and how she's going into another ghost town with the Faithful and Beryl in tow. So this might have the aftermath of their confrontation and see what Vanessa really thinks and retreats to the community. And so we're really going to dive in and hopefully get more answers, which I really like, and hopefully see Reagan use her cool powers, which is some of my favorite scenes. I'm also picking up Batman Superman World's Finest number 1. This is written by Mark Waid and drawn by Dan Mora, and to me, Batman and Superman together in a comic is like some of my favorite. You have this very good Boy Scout mixed with this very dark, grimy detective, and the way they mash is just honestly some of my favorite. The jokes they collide with, and that to me is just super fun. Plus, I think Dan Mora's art is so good. I mean, if you're reading Once and Future, his art is on par with that. So having him do a Batman Superman World's Finest just seems like the perfect opportunity. Plus, Mark Waid is finally returning to DC Comics, so really looking forward to that. They have some great variants for this as well. I love the slap bet covers done by Chip Zdarsky. I even love the Evan Doc Shaner, the clapping high five one. I think that's really fun. So this one, hopefully, we're going to see them have a really good mashup. I did get to read a little preview of it, so it was really fun and interesting. And personally, it sounds like the Doom Patrol might be in there. And the Doom Patrol is just a wacky creative team that I really love to see, and I love to see more. So having the Doom Patrol in this should be really fun. We also have Batman the Knight number 3. This is a Chip Zdarsky run, and to me, this one has just been so good and so on par with the Batman movie, having a young Bruce Wayne in this world. It's just really fun to see him and how he grows to become who he is most known for, the Batman. So in this one in particular, it seems like Bruce is going to be running into that familiar cat-like feline that we all know and love, Catwoman, and it should be really interesting to have the parallels from the movie into the comics. So really looking forward to this. Can't wait to check that one out. And we also have Carnage number 1. This is written by Ram V, drawn by Francisco Mana, and this one in particular seems like we are picking up from the events of, I want to say King in Black, where Carnage no longer has a host. So he is kind of like on his own. He is this symbiote, and as we saw in Carnage Forever, he rejected having Hydro Man as his body to use. So he definitely seems like he wants to be on his own. And This one, it seems like there is somebody that is trying to make Carnage latch on to him. So I'm interested to see what is going to happen there if Carnage does decide to latch on to this would-be serial killer or whoever he is, whoever we might find out. But I am interested to see either Carnage by himself and just absolutely destroying things, or maybe with even a different serial killer-esque character attached to him, like Cletus Cassidy. So I'm not too sure, but I know I love Ram V, and his work is phenomenal. So I really can't wait for Carnage. Carnage is my favorite symbiote, so I'm really looking forward to this one. There's some great covers as well. We also have Catwoman, number 41. I really thought after Ram V left Catwoman that I wasn't going to enjoy it, but Tini Howard took over, and actually I've really been liking it. It has had some really interesting takes on Catwoman, and I really enjoy that. The artist, Nico Leon, he seems to be phenomenal. I love his use of negative space, and I love his use of movements as well. Catwoman is a very flexible, and she bends and moves in certain ways, and it's kind of hard to portray that, but the artist really does make Catwoman kind of like dancing almost in this comic, and I think that's a really interesting trait to have. They've also introduced some new characters, and they've seemed very interesting as well. I particular really took like to the cat that's like all galaxy looking, so I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm pretty sure Catwoman on this issue is going to be looking for the people that have targeted the women dancers of that nightclub that she's been infiltrating, so hopefully we'll get more on that, and maybe even a little Batman, we're not too sure. Also, I will be picking up Eternals, the Heretic. Number 1 is written by Kieran Gillen, and this one seems to focus a lot on Thanos. Thanos is now the ruler of the Eternals, and he is essentially seen as like the big scary bad guy, but in this issue in particular, he will be meeting the ultimate Eternals bad guy, Uranus, and he is kind of scary. He's known as the Undying, and he's like much larger than Thanos, and in the preview he looks like he is going to crush Thanos, so that's a pretty scary thought. I'm very interested to see how this goes. The main cover is a gorgeous Andrea Sorrentino cover, so I will definitely be picking up that one, and I'm excited to see where they go with this. Also, we have Joe Hill Reign number 3. This is going to be halfway through the Joe Hill's reign, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens with Honeysuckle. At the end of the last issue, her neighbor, Templeton Blake, actually came in at the end and was like, I want to join you on your run, and so now she not only has to worry about getting all the way through Colorado without having these nails, but now she's in control of this, this child that she also has to now protect. So it is a very thrilling comic, and I'm very interested to see how this one plays out. I'm also picking up The Last Book You'll Ever Read, number 6. This is also a Cullen Bunn book. This one I have been slowly dropping off on. I am kind of losing interest, but I'm still going to hold out there. I do still think that there is an interesting thought to it. Having a writer have her book become this very demonic sexual entity that takes place whenever you read her book is a very interesting concept, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. However, I do want it to move along a little quicker, so hopefully with this issue it becomes a little more oomph in there, and hopefully we get a little bit more action. I'm also picking up Nightwing, number 90. This is written by Tom Taylor, and it is a Nightwing Wally West two-parter, which I think is really fun. And I really like Tom Taylor's writing. I think Tom Taylor has a really fun experience with his comics. And you know what? Having these like team-ups, he had it with John Superman in the last issue, and now he's going to have it with Wally West. I just think that's a really fun idea, and just having these characters be able to play off of each other is just really interesting and cool. So having the Flash and Nightwing team up, something I'm really looking forward to. I'm also picking up Nyx number 5. I really like the Rose Besh covers on these, and I've been reading a lot of Vampirella for a very long time, so Nyx is just one of those characters that I've been really drawn to. So she is battling her dad at the moment, the God of Chaos, and it's just like a fun read. Dynamite comics honestly aren't usually too in-depth. Dynamite comics usually are just kind of meant for fun, if not really sexy covers. So I really tend to like these because these are just like tend to be fun, shorter, smaller stories than some of my other really in-depth independents. So I like a wide range of comics, and Nyx kind of fills a hole that I am missing sometimes. I'm also picking up a new Scout comic called Playthings number 1. I saw this in the comic shop news, and I instantly got drawn to it. It is a part of Scout's Black Cavern imprint, and it seems a little Saw meets It meets like kind of twisted horror. So essentially this woman, Allison Hart, wakes up and she's tied in a bright candy colored room and tied down by licorice. She has small toys around her and they seem to be alive. So her hands are no longer real either, and she's struggling to figure out whether this surreal, horrific event is even real, or if this is leading her to a place, more importantly, where her daughter Emma is. So maybe it has a psychological mend to it, or maybe it's just downright horror. I'm not too sure, but the cover was really creepy, and I am kind of interested in some more of these Scout comics. So when I saw that in the comic shop news, I was like, I gotta check this scene out. So really looking forward to that. I'm also picking up Refrigerator Full of Heads number 5. I have been reading this for a while because I was reading Basket Full of Heads, and to me this comic is just a really fun issue. It deals with a lot of Norse lore, and I really like that. A lot of Viking weapons and things like that. And in this one, I know in the last issue, June got trapped, and so she's taken away. And we're really going to see what the main character, Eileen, is going to do without her partner. So, interested to see where that one leads. Also, I'm picking up Silver Coin number 10. This is the last of the second arc, and this one's drawn and written by Michael Walsh, and I'm excited to see more about this silver coin. I mean, the silver coin is creepy, and you find out throughout different generations where this thing has traveled and how it's affected its owners. Well, every time Michael Walsh does his versions, he is always doing like the main story of the silver coin. So this one's going to dive more into the Covenant that really started that silver coin. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm excited to see how the second arc ends, and hopefully we'll get a third one after it. I'm also picking up a new comic called Slumber number 1. This is written by Tyler Burton Smith, who actually wrote and directed the latest Child's Play. So very horror guy, and I'm interested to see what he does with this. This in the previews looked like a more like horror comedy, and honestly, those are some of my favorite movies, so I would like to see how this one plays out. Stenson's he's a nightmare hunter and a dream detective. She runs a shoddy back alley business where she helps clients sleep at night by entering their dreams and killing their nightmares. But Stillson's past comes back to haunt her when she tracks down a literal living nightmare, a serial killer that murders people in their sleep. So, just like this cool, like Dexter meets like Nightmare on Elm Street type vibes, and I'm really interested to see how this writer works with comics instead of just movies. I also am picking up Stillwater Escape. It is a one-shot issue, and this one is a Chip Zdarsky, and many others. So I'm hoping we're going to get a lot more answers about Stillwater. We know this place. You can't die. However, in the last issue, there was a very big reveal that I'm not going to spoil, but there was a really big reveal at the end. And I just feel like this issue is going to give us more answers to that. So I am really looking forward to this. I'm also picking up Walking Dead Deluxe. See, I've never read The Walking Dead prior in the black and white format, so I am picking up The Walking Dead Deluxe through its colored format. And frankly, I've been loving it. I love this book. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic writing. I honestly call it my soap opera because it comes out like every 2 weeks, and it just feels so much like my soap opera of like all these characters that I'm falling in love with. So I'm frankly really enjoying Walking Dead Deluxe. If you've never watched Walking Dead, I highly recommend it. Also, X Lives of Wolverine number 5 releases. I've been picking up all the Wolverine titles. I think the X Lives has definitely been better than the Deaths. Lives really focuses on Wolverine and his relations to like Omega Red and throughout all of his years, whereas the Deaths really relates to like the current X-Men titles. So I've really been enjoying the Lives, and I think it's a great Wolverine story if you really just like really fun action Wolverine. So I'm excited to see how this penultimate issue will end up. Last but not least, I will not be picking this up, but I did want to address that the JLA Avengers trade comes out this week. It is the Hero Initiative reprint for the JLA Avengers, and it is meant for George Perez, who is sadly passing away from cancer. And, you know, a lot of stores did get very, very few copies. So at my store, I know we are raffling it off, $5 a ticket, and whoever wins will win the book. So I just want to address that. Please do not get mad at your local comic book shops if they do not have this book. You know, we really did get very minimal. There's only 7,000 copies, and there's about 5,500 comic book stores in Diamond's account alone. So very, very tough for stores to get multiple copies. And, you know, just please be nice to your local comic book shop employees, because they really are trying really hard, and however they do decide to disperse this book, you know, it is probably the best way for their store. So that's going to be it. These are all my comic picks-ups for March 16th, 2022. Let me know what you're picking up. Have a great day.